threatened everybody last week that if we didn't comment, that we were done.
And we're back.
No, I said we'd run through the end of the year.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So here we are. It's a week later, and we did get like a dozen or more comments.
Yeah, we did okay.
75% of it was friends and family.
That's true.
Not even friends.
Friends, family.
Family.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly. 25% of them, I don't know who they are, but I think they're kids that go to Madison area high schools.
Well, shout out to them.
I'm pretty sure that those are Wanakee high school kids.
Sweet.
I shouldn't even say Madison. I don't want to. They're probably gonna be upset with me if they actually are because they're Wanakee students.
Well,
But
I
I don't know that for a fact. Anyway,
So, but we're not out of the woods yet. Don't think that, hey, I commented I did my job, that podcast is going to last another year.
Right. Right.
we need to see some. We need to see some love every single week. You know, here's what I liked the best.
Okay.
I liked the people who just put done.
Yeah.
Because we had
you
the
did
whole,
say that.
Did it?
Yeah.
I had the whole comment
Yeah.
about, like when you do that dumb stuff on Facebook, and it's like, most of you aren't even going to get to the end of this, and then some people just said the done.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw one of those again like this morning. I'm scrolling through my Facebook, and I'm not going to drop names, but it was like, comment, I read this, and you will have instant wealth in the next 24 hours.
Oh, you saw one of those?
Yes, and they comment like,
Yeah. Don't be upset. Takes all kinds.
So dumb.
The Packers office gets bye-week help from Office Star.
Yeah.
I liked this.
He was at a game I was at.
Really?
Like about 3-4 years ago, yeah.
He's got to be in my top 2 favorite characters on The Office.
Well, who are we talking
We're
about?
talking about Brian Baumgartner,
Yep.
which he plays Kevin.
Kevin
on The
Malone.
Office. Kevin
Yeah.
Malone, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And his character on The Office is,
Awesome.
it is awesome. There is an episode in The Office in which they have a running gag where somebody new comes into the office and they play a prank by saying that Kevin over there is mentally
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And it's very believable. His character is like that, where you're like, maybe, you know,
Right.
a lot of dumb stuff. Very,
And he talks like this.
yeah, yeah.
Well, are you talking about the one where that blonde manager woman?
Holly.
Yeah, Holly. She starts talking slow to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, so I'm so proud of
Yeah.
you for.
And then he's like, thank you.
Yeah. And then he's like, that chick totally wants me.
Yeah.
He thinks he's hitting on her. Yeah, it's good. Good episode.
So, well, anyway, Brian Baumgartner is friends like with Aaron Rodgers. They're buddies. So he's been to a few games at Lambeau and was there last week. And I guess while he was there, he must have spent a week in Green Bay or something. And while he was there, they did a little promo of him working in the Green Bay front office.
yeah.
Is
And
this online? Is the
Yeah,
video?
it's funny video. I watched it.
Yeah, the video's up.
How
He
many
le-
minutes is it?
It is 3 minutes.
Yeah. He leads a tour and just like gives completely wrong facts
Yeah.
about Lambeau Field and stuff. It's pretty.
The whole
it's pretty
thing
good.
is, I'm glad that Green Bay's giving me this chance because I've really been typecast. Everyone thinks I'm the dumb guy who screws up, and I don't want to be that guy. I'm gonna do my best, and he ends up screwing up everything. And
Yeah, he was at the game we were at, like, it's probably 3-4 years ago. And then there's another game he was at where Phil's wife has a photo with him.
Oh,
no,
cool.
really,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway,
Well, thanks, Kevin.
yeah, Kevin loves us. The Baraboo axe throwers are headed to the World Axe Throwing Championship. Axe throwing is a growing sport.
Yeah, I did.
Dare I say?
Yes. I had a similar reaction to that.
Axe throwing is a thing now. It's
Have you
like
ever done it?
bags. Well, no. What are you supposed to call it?
cornhole.
Yeah, cornhole.
Have you guys ever thrown axes?
I have not.
Nope.
No. There's one in Eagle River.
Yeah. Kick an axe.
I remember like as a little
Don't
kid,
beat
my cousins would throw hatchets across like through the woods at trees. I mean, we've been doing it. I've been doing this since I was a little tyke.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing now. Dare I say it's a sport?
Yeah.
Is that a regional thing or is that like nationwide?
Well, I don't know. They're going to the world championship.
But like I thought that cornhole / bags was a regional thing, and it turns out, is it not? I thought that was like a very Wisconsin thing, but that's not either,
up.
is it?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so,
I think
no.
that's pretty big. That's like on ESPN 8, the Ocho and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So axe throwing, I don't think is a regional thing, but is it maybe?
No, I don't think so. These guys have done more than 20 tournaments all across the U.S., and then now they're going to the World Axe Throwing Championship in Texas.
So when you are in axe throwing, is it can you bring your own axe? And I'm being serious. Like, is the axe something that has to be
Standardized.
uniform across
There's
all
probably
participants? Or
options, but they probably all have to fit certain
criteria?
Yeah.
I would think.
12
Yeah.
And,
inch
like-
handle, 4-pound head weight.
And what I found interesting about this too is that the World Axe Throwing Championship isn't just axes. Like one of these people from Baraboo qualified for all 4 events, so he'll be throwing axes. What does it say? Hatchets, knife, and swords or something.
No, it's
What is it? Can't find it here.
hatchets, big axes,
That's
and duels.
You got a big
duels.
axe.
And then
like
this year,
double-handed axe throwing?
Yeah.
No, I think like they face off against each other and take
Maybe.
turns,
I do not.
throwing at each other.
You're
And
so dumb.
it's like the Wild Wild West.
yeah,
It's
well,
like
that's what a duel is.
It's like a standoff.
I'm with Andy on this. You
Yeah.
take 10
10
paces,
paces and turn on throw an axe. Yeah,
Well, you either win or you lose.
Yeah.
It's like there is no in between.
that would make for an interesting duel.
But knife throwing has been added.
Axe
So
throwing duel.
You take your axe, you walk 10 paces, turn and throw.
Oh, that's just kind of creeps me out in a weird
little
way.
gruesome.
Yeah, very
A little
gruesome.
gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so axe throwing is apparently a thing. I've never done it.
Yep, and there's some
What do those
Wisconsinites
places
representing.
charge for that? You know,
I
do you
don't
pay
know.
by
I
like
don't
the hour? It's like bowling. You go in, they give you an axe. They slide an
Shoes.
axe across the counter. They ask you what size you want. You're like, 4-pound.
Pair of shoes to go with it.
Slide across. If they had shoes, it's boots.
Yeah, it's
They
boots.
give you a pair
Steel-toe
of lace-up
boots.
boots.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they slide an axe across the counter. You know, and then you like bring it back.
Yeah. They resharpen it, put it on the shelf,
Spray it.
spray it with a disinfectant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this article is about 2 guys in Baraboo, and then it says at the end of this article, there will be more than a dozen Wisconsin axe throwers at this year's championship. So there are others that are going to the ship down in Texas.
So I was gassing up like about a week ago, and I noticed there's a big sign on the Quick Trip pump that said either prepay or pay at the pump, which I don't know. I didn't think much of it. But then there was a news article this week that Quick Trip eliminates gas drive-offs, now requires prepayment. There's nothing I hate more than gas stations that require prepayment. But I guess it must be a pretty big thing that drive-off gas swiping.
You can still use your card at the pump.
At the pump, I get
Yeah.
it. Yeah, but so like a lot of times, let's say you go to the pump and like the thing is down or whatever.
Yeah, I hate that too.
The
I
prepaid
will
thing?
just go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Like, I'm already
Just
here
leave.
with my gas cap open. I don't care. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I leave too.
Yep.
Because like the prepay thing is weird too. Like, because then you got to go back in. Sometimes
Yeah.
too. Like I've been to prepay places. They're like, well, how much do you want? I'm like, I don't
Yeah, I hate
know.
that.
how much
Exactly
I want.
right.
I want a full gas tank.
Yeah.
How are you
Yes,
supposed to know
exactly.
that? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what irritates me.
Yep.
So it's like, well, how much do you want? Until it's full.
I also have a question for Quick Trip on this. How does my rewards card work now?
Well, how? I guess.
Well, you could only swipe it one time before, but I would usually get gas, go inside, buy a whole bunch of other stuff, and then I would get the rewards on the entire purchase. Now I
Why
can't
can
do
you only
that.
swap it once?
That's what their
Or
rule
swipe
is.
it
You
once?
can only swipe it like once in within the 2-hour span. You can't like
Oh, I didn't know
pay for your
I
gas,
don't
swipe it,
have a
go
rewards
inside, and
card.
then swipe it again.
So
for
you've got the
goods.
Quick Trip rewards card.
do.
What does it get you?
It gets you like points. You can either get like X like cents off of gas for so many swipes, or you can get like a free cheeseburger or something.
What do you get?
Usually money off of gas.
I don't know why I don't have one because every time and they're diligent in asking you rewards card.
Yes.
Actually, yeah. So here's the Quick Trip thing. Any gas? I paid for it at the pump. Rewards card? No.
Can I interest you in a 99-cent donut?
Yeah.
It's
So
like,
so I walk up and I go, paid at the pump, no rewards card, and I have my donuts already.
Yeah.
Do you have a rewards card?
I do not. No.
You don't go often enough, or you're like me, you're just too lazy to get one.
Too lazy to get one. I don't.
yeah, I was too for a long time,
Can
and
they-
then finally I just broke down because they kept asking me if I
Can they
wanted
do
one.
it off your phone number, or do you have to have
You
it
can
on
do it
you?
off your phone number.
'Cause,
And
yeah.
it takes like all of 11 seconds for them to set it up. They like pull one out, they swipe it and hand it to you, and you're done.
That's the other thing I hate is like a rewards card that I have to keep on my person.
No, you don't need to.
So you can do it based on a phone number?
Totally.
Maybe I'll get one.
Yeah.
I
That-
wouldn't get that much.
That's an expression that I've always found weird.
What? I might get one?
On my person. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a weird.
Well, how else do you say it?
I
Do
have
you
it with
to
me.
on you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on me in my wallet,
Yeah. But
Sorry.
in my pocket.
No. That I've heard other people use it, and it just every time I hear it, it just sounds weird to me.
I am weird. So anyway,
is
if you're going to go to Quick Trip now, you either have to pay at the pump or prepay.
When does this start?
I think
like
it started,
now?
it started already. Like
Oh.
again, I was at a station last week and it already said that at the pump. I was going into that station to because I had to prepay.
Mm-hmm.
There was a donkey outside.
You don't
Did
say.
you give it money?
There was a donkey outside begging for money with a red kettle. And now I read an article that this is legit.
This is at the Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Onalaska.
Oh, I thought it was at the Quick Trip I was at.
Well, there's more than one donkey.
Yeah, there is.
The Salvation Army there is doing their Red Kettle campaign, and they brought out a couple bell ringers and a donkey.
Was that donkey doing anything in the parking lot at Blaine's Farm and Fleet?
Anything by, what do you mean?
Well, last week there was some shenanigans.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Good call. I did enjoy
Maybe
it.
in a Florida Farm and Fleet parking lot.
Florida Farm and Fleet donkey.
Yep.
I have a question in this article specifically for Andy or his father.
Oh, boy.
One of the quotes, it said, from the woman Martha who brought the donkey said, "This is ours. We have 3. We have this one and 2 more in the trailer because we can't leave them home or else they'll jump over the fence if he's gone."
Oh,
Why
they go
do
after their
2
buddy.
donkeys jump over the fence if one is gone?
Well, I don't want to sound smart and then also sound stupid at the same time, because I told
you know the answer
No,
to this?
well,
Do you?
I might be able to get there, but animals were never my forte. I would take feed out to feed them, and
I welcome
turn
this
the water on to
question
water
for
'em,
your dad to
but
comment and answer.
Oh yeah, I hope he does. I know that there are some animals that
Separation anxiety?
no, they're
Well, I'm being serious.
like when we got our llama. We had to get
Love
we had to
llama
get
stories.
additional llamas because there's something where I don't know if it's the males or the females, or if there isn't another companion, or
Sounds like trees and pollination.
if there isn't
Well, there's
something else
birds.
around,
There's 2 birds like that.
they go
too.
nuts. So it might be the same kind of deal.
I'm interested. I want to know. I want to know why. And so, and now are these other donkeys just like, do they have a window in the trailer where they can look at the other one and know everything's
he's out
okay?
there, he's okay.
Yeah. Or are they just going nuts in there and slamming up against the wall trying to get out?
Should I call my dad and ask him right now?
I would appreciate
Oh boy,
it.
a live call with Andy's dad to ask him why donkeys are following each other.
I mean, I thought that was. I'm curious about that. Well, if anyone knows,
Did you
comment.
donate to that red kettle with the donkey? I think that would attract some extra money.
Heck yeah, they should get goats.
I
Goats.
said that.
Really?
Yeah. Well, so we asked a special guest to come in today, and she said I'd love to because I love to talk about donkeys. And I said, yeah, donkeys are good, but goats are better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, $150,000 grant aims to help bring computer science into K-12 Wisconsin classrooms. Okay, so how many Wisconsin K-12 classrooms are there
6 or so.
in the entire state?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so 7 then. Fine.
$150,000 grant divided by, let's call it,
How many schools? Are
Yeah.
you asking how many schools are in Wisconsin?
there's got to be hundreds.
Oh yeah.
So like each school is going to get like,
Well, you gotta
$2,000?
You gotta read the article. It says with
No,
the
they're gonna get, like,
help of a
$500.
$150,000 grant, and then it also says that the program is currently being tested in Brown County.
So I would assume that these are just
But they
public
wish
schools.
to expand the program statewide if successful. So I think this is just a Brown County 150,000.
oh, well then why does it say into all K-12 Wisconsin classrooms in the headline?
Because it's the test program to see if it works, and then they want to expand it to all K-12. Misleading head. That's what I'm gaining out of this.
Because otherwise it would be if you split that up amongst the 673 public schools in Wisconsin,
Here's
they'd each
43
get
cents.
They'd each get $222.
which is a pair of wireless earbuds.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Buy yourself a new keyboard.
Yeah. Well,
That's what threw me off on that article, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
it did throw me off as well. That's why I
I'm
continued
not
to
talking
read.
about the Altoona man with his 12th OWI.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, no sense. But I wasn't. So there's another thing I struck from your.
that's a lot of OWIs though.
Maybe we'll get him on for an interview. I struck another one from your lineup you sent me only because we were going to talk about the DNR put out a photo of 2 bobcats. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it's like find the bobcats in this photo, which one is pretty obvious, but I didn't know why we were going to talk about a photo on the air that nobody could see because this is a podcast. But if you're interested, you should go online to look up the bobcat photo because it is interesting. I couldn't find the second bobcat.
Oh,
You
no,
still
I gotta
didn't?
look.
I didn't
haven't
look
looked.
hard because I
saw
was
this.
just like, oh, I'm not going to do this because it's a photo. So
It's not that hidden.
the second one isn't?
Right, no.
Yeah, I saw the first one right away, and then I was just like, well, we're going to talk about a hidden bobcat, and nobody can see the damn photo. That's like when we were talking about how good food was, and everyone got mad at us because they're like, you guys spent way too much time eating, and we're not eating the same thing, so it's just not interesting. But So I didn't want to talk about the hidden vodka.
Fine.
Oh, it's extremely easy to find.
The second one?
Yeah. It wasn't even like. I'd even have to like look hard.
There's number 1.
Okay.
Oh, sitting up in a tree. Yeah, all right. I didn't look high.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be high.
It is a cool photo.
Yeah, it is a cool photo. Did Karen forget we have a podcast today?
She's
Maybe
not
she'll
down
know
here yet.
something about the donkeys.
we're
I
almost
still want to
done.
know the answer to that.
We're almost done. Speaking of Karens,
Okay.
there was the Green Bay Press Gazette asked Wisconsin home cooks to send their best fudge recipes.
Karen just came
And
down.
you know why fudge? I brought that up, that I thought it
did.
should be
You
the
did.
Wisconsin state
The state candy.
And that's why I found this interesting. I find this a week later, and like, why would you ask for fudge recipes if it wasn't a thing? And there's 5 recipes here. There was like amaretto fudge. What are the flavors on there, Andrew?
Well, I'm just reading this article in here. It's just- whoever wrote this, Mr. Dan Higgins says, "My biggest takeaway is that making fudge isn't as easy as pie. It's easier."
Yeah,
Just
exactly. Yeah.
he should be fired on the spot.
yeah.
There.
It's just like a regular creamy fudge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
There was like I thought there was an amaretto one.
I believe you're correct in that. There was a white chocolate with nuts.
Yep. Was there a peanut butter one, or was it? There was a tan colored one.
There was a pecan crunch.
Pecan crunch. Yeah, that's the one.
I really like maple flavored. And yeah, there was a chocolate amaretto fudge. Good job.
You gonna make any of these?
Have you
ever made fudge?
I don't. I never have. I don't bake.
made
I
fudge.
love to cook, like over a burner. But anything that requires me to turn on the oven, I'm out.
Like a Bunsen burner? Bunsen burner day?
Bunsen burner day. No, like stove burner day.
Okay.
But if it requires me to turn an oven on, I'm out. You said Karen was here?
Yeah.
She came down.
So we went to Hooligan Steak and Seafood Pub in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Why did we go to Eau Claire? What happened in Eau Claire?
Is this
I
a
don't know.
test or do
Well,
you really
we
not
always
know?
go to a
Yeah.
city from the previous Cheezehole.
What did we talk about?
What
in Eau
happened in
Claire?
Eau Claire?
Can't remember.
The hidden dead body.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So there's a little hidden place in Eau Claire called Hooligan Steak and Seafood Pub. 4.6 stars, 519 reviews. What happened, Karen?
Ordered the walleye. Said it was Canadian walleye and was priced high. Absolutely was not walleye. If someone is selling it to the restaurant as walleye, they are being cheated, as we were. We spoke to the waitress, who gave excellent service, and she insisted it was. I grew up on a walleye lake, and this was not walleye! Probably cod or pollock. We will not be back.
Did
you see how I-
Karen took to heart
Yeah.
when I called
Yeah,
it
you
out
did.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, not. So she changed a word in here or one letter, and I didn't know what it was supposed to be, but I think she was right. So this was written. It said, "We spoke to the waitress who gave excellent service, and she insisted I was."
It
But I
was.
think it was. I thought she was like insisted I was wrong and forgot a word, but I think Karen was right. She insisted it was Canadian walleye. But this person knows.
Fish connoisseur, man.
It was probably cod or pollock. You can definitely tell the difference between cod, pollock, and walleye.
Yes.
But there's also there's some times I've had walleye, and it must be they must be 40-pound walleyes. Because, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem like it is walleye.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it probably still is, but it's some type of like weird farm-raised walleye or something.
There's not a lot of farm-raised walleye.
Well, like
There really isn't. It's one of the hardest fish to farm.
But I so she insists this is Canadian walleye, but then how she knows it was Canadian walleye is it was priced like
High.
Canadian walleye. It was
Yeah.
priced
Oh.
high.
That was priced really high.
Yeah.
That word Canadian, that's about $3 extra per pound. Filet right there.
I don't know. So you think they I don't think you can. There's got to be something illegal about passing off something on your menu that's not.
Oh, I would think.
Yeah.
It's like you can't say, hey, this is a T-bone and it's a.
That's why when you go to McDonald's, they will never call ice. You don't see the word ice cream anywhere at McDonald's because it's not ice cream. It's soft serve.
Oh.
So they will never call it ice cream because it's just
Yeah, but there's also like
there are things like that.
people
where
call fish different names. Like half the time when you go to a restaurant and it says perch on the menu, everyone around here thinks they're getting like a perch you'd catch in the lake, like a yellow perch. But generally, if it only says perch, it's called a lake perch, and it's a totally different species that comes out of the Great Lakes.
I thought we had lake perch.
We do in the Great Lakes. We have yellow perch. A lake perch looks kind of like a white bass. Do you know what that looks like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I did not
So a
know
lot of
that.
times, like you go on a menu and it says perch. Most of the times it's lake perch.
I thought lake perch and yellow perch were the same.
No.
So a lake perch looks like a white bass?
I'll Google it for you.
Yeah, I want to see a picture, even though nobody we're talking to. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm sorry.
Well, our energy level. Nobody's going to be listening after this episode.
I am not a fish connoisseur, so if I ordered,
It's just all
I don't
marketing.
have enough. I don't eat enough fish, which I need to. My wife and I just talked about that. Do we need to eat more fish? We need to get more fish in our diet. We just don't eat a lot of fish.
Well,
so if
walleye
I
is-
ordered a walleye and catfish came, I would.
Yes.
Unless it still had the whiskers on it, I wouldn't know the difference.
It's a white. That's a white perch. That's what you're
Oh.
talking about there.
Look at that.
Yep.
It does look more like that.
So and that's white perch is lake perch, white perch. Some people call it different things, but that's very common on menus for the perch.
Now, what type of fish might I find in a fish stick?
A little bit of
multiple.
the mulch of everything that they accidentally
Yeah.
caught.
Okay.
That is exactly what a fish stick is.
See, that's the best way to go because then you get a little bit of every fish.
You're right. Very healthy.
In case some are better for you than others.
Yep. And whenever they don't turn into fish sticks, goes into dog food. So
Well, when you're out fishing,
Yeah.
you're going to have your Mercury outboard on.
you are.
You
and
betcha
in
you will.
Fond du Lac, they're expanding the manufacturing facility.
You don't say.
They are
Wow.
at Mercury.
Well, tell us about it, Tim.
Well, they're adding 100,000 square feet to its global headquarters, which is a significant addition.
Right next to 41 there, they got the
Yeah.
red and blue windows.
Yep.
Do you remember about 10 or maybe 15 years ago? I think, don't quote me on this, but I think the employees were threatening to unionize or strike. And Mercury was like, okay, we're moving to Alabama. And they were like, oh, no. We were just kidding. JK.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember this?
I don't, but as soon as you're done, I'd like you to read one of these quotes because I'm confused by it. Can you read that quote right there and try to make sense of what it means?
Fond du Lac, as our home Fond du Lac, like as our global headquarters, it has been for more than 80 years. And that's never going to change.
I'm confused by the double Fond du Lacs.
Yeah, I'm not Fond du Lac as our home Fond du Lac, like as our global headquarters. It has been for more than 80 years. Like, why wouldn't he just say Fond du Lac has been our global headquarters for more than 80 years?
Yeah.
Who is that?
I don't know,
He said-
and I'm also concerned by the writer didn't change anything, but that's okay.
It's a quote. You can't. Well, I mean, really, you're not supposed to.
Well, they are moving their distribution center to Indianapolis to be more strategically located within the United States, they said.
Interesting.
But they said the marine industry this year has grown exponentially.
I'm sure it has.
Yeah.
Well, and a
Search
lot
out,
of
search out like Fond du Lac, or search out Mercury Marine employee strike in Fond du Lac or something. I swore that they did that, and then it came down to it, and Mercury called their bluff and said, "Fine, we're moving to Alabama."
I believe you're right, actually. Yeah. But Mercury's been taken over recently. Evinrude went down for outboards. A lot of
Well, Bombardier pulled the plug on Evinrude, which is Mercury.
So I can see
and,
why they're
Mercury and
expanding.
Honda and
Suzuki.
Is that about all that's left? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That
Okay.
strike thing, I just was curious if
I remember
was
that though.
remembering
I
it
do
right.
recall.
Yeah. So if you get hurt making an engine in Fond du Lac at
Yeah.
Mercury,
Yep.
Yeah.
And
there's
the
a
extended-
37% chance you're going to skip out on your bill
Ah.
at the hospital.
That's a pretty good odds.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by this statistic?
I was. Yeah.
Really?
That's a lot. That's high.
Yeah.
Yeah, hospital lawsuits for unpaid bills rose by 37%.
And that's from 2001 to 2018.
Yeah. This is 3-year-old news, but it just came out today.
Yeah.
They're 3 years behind in this polling.
I guess I wouldn't have known what to guess if you had asked me what the percentage of unpaid bills were. I think I probably would have guessed around 15%. I don't know why. That's just what I would have thought.
Is that,
Wait,
what's
what-
the percentage of people who are uninsured?
Oh, that's a good cue. To which I don't have the A.
So if 37% of bills are skipped out on,
Well, no, this just says that it said it rose by 37%. I don't know how much is actually being skipped.
oh yeah,
I
it rose
see.
by
Good, good
37.
call, good call,
Yeah.
good call.
Yeah. We're misinterpreting.
Yep.
If we're gonna spread wrong information, let's make sure we're. Well, if it rose by 30, so if 10% skipped out and it rose by 37%, those 10% that skipped out is what rose 37%.
Yeah.
So if 10 out of 100 skipped out and that rises 37%, then 13.7 people skip out, right? Am I right on that?
You lost me,
If
but
the number
yeah.
of people who didn't pay was 10%,
Yes.
Okay.
and then that rose 37%,
Yep.
that means 13.7 people
Yeah.
now skip out on paying.
That is correct.
Andy's not sure. Andy's just nodding his
Well,
head.
you started doing numbers, and I.
No, I get what
You
you're
know,
saying, dog.
so what kind of instigated me to ask Andy to do this podcast with me is when Andy got this job, I think one of the things, either me creeping on him or him showing it as part of his resume, was him walking around his campus asking people questions that they didn't know the answers to. So I wish I would have. Now I wish I would have said, Andy,
I would like to know more about
Andy,
this.
if the number of people who don't pay their hospital bill rises by 37%,
Yeah. No.
and previously 10 people didn't pay their hospital bill out of 100, now how many don't pay their hospital bill? This would have been a question Andy
So
could have
what is the answer to
potentially-
that?
It's
13.7.
13.7.
Oh,
So
okay.
you enjoyed like making people feel stupid?
Yeah, he'd be like, who's the first president of the United States?
Yeah,
So that's
it
an
would-
easy one. That's like so you were asking
Yeah,
like
Abraham
stuff people
Lincoln, of
should
course.
He
know.
asked relatively easy questions, but I will say that would drive me nuts because I feel like I'm a somewhat intelligent person.
Yeah.
And like if someone comes up and puts me on a spot and is like, who abolished slavery? I'd be like, JFK. You know?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm
And
saying?
then you'd
Like,
make it on my little interview show.
under pressure, I don't know. Like, I mean, I would.
Pushing down on me.
Yeah, I know.
Gosh.
But so like history and geography and history are my weak points.
Yeah, I'm bad at geography too.
I'm bad at geography.
I
and
like history.
I'm bad at both in a bad way. But like math and percentages and things like that. Like
Can you put together like a really simple one of these quizzes for
you
us for next
should
week?
actually
Absolutely, I will.
Yeah.
put together a 10-question simple history or geography
Not
quiz.
geography.
Or a combination
I'm so bad
of
at
both.
it.
Maybe both. We still have to do our recap episode too. We should have done it this week because this episode sucks.
And if you feel the same way,
Kind of does, dude.
Yeah, comment that
Yeah.
we have energy and this episode
I was kind of
sucks.
thinking of that about 10 minutes ago, how bad this was going.
It is. It's a
Yeah.
horrible episode.
Andy, your thoughts?
maybe we need to say a prayer and light this thing.
We're going to need all the help we can
Maybe
get.
that's why it sucked. We forgot to light the
Last
vigil.
week we begged people
Come
to
on.
comment and be our friends, and now we just are giving them no reason to like us.
Yeah. Come on, Mother Mary, help us out.
Mother Mary, come to me.
Speaking words of wisdom.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's just end this thing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, I mean,
So we're going to talk about the 100-year-old muscles.
You put that on there. I didn't
this
do
was
it.
one of my favorite stories.
I did.
This
so
is
the
fascinating.
reason I put this on here is because this is another, and I get why it's confusing. Scientists find mussels thought to be over 100 years old in Wisconsin River.
Okay.
But okay, wait. In Wisconsin? No, in a Wisconsin River, not the Wisconsin River. Yeah. Yeah. So there's, but I get it. It's a tough headline to read. But anyway, they found 100-year-old mussels, not in a Wisconsin River, but a Wisconsin River.
Right.
It was like somewhere in St. Croix Falls.
Yep.
Yeah, I was in the St. Croix River.
Is this significant because mussels shouldn't be 100 years old?
They did say this is longer than the animal should normally live. They also are endangered, and it's rare that they would be in this section because how these mussels reproduce and survive is they have to attach themselves to the gills of a certain fish that no longer lives in that area of the river due to the damming of that river, which was dammed in 1907.
Whoa, look at this.
See, it is
damn
kind of
neat.
cool.
Yeah. The average steeplechase mussel lives to be about 70 years old. So these
I think it's called a spectacle case mussel.
Oh, is that what it says?
Yeah, steeplechase works though.
We're gonna get so Andy's quiz to us is history and geography, and he can laugh at us, and then we can quiz Andy back on like
Deal.
basic math and
Deal.
Reading.
spelling.
Yeah, deal.
spelling.
Deal.
All right, so is spelling a bad thing? for
No, spelling's fine. Although I made a few spelling bees in my
Broccoli?
day. I've gotten significantly worse at
Broccoli.
spelling because
So have I,
because
Google
does it for me.
or
Broccoli.
Word does it for you. Yeah,
you? Banana.
but steeplechase, spectacle case,
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
whatever.
You're a real spectacle
He
case.
said steeplechase. The
I
real
did,
thing
because-
is spectacle case.
Okay, because steeplechase is a real word.
I understand that.
Spectacle case. They say whatever.
We're making a spectacle of ourselves
Indeed,
right now.
indeed.
I think the podcast is at least getting funnier.
Oh boy, maybe play this one in reverse.
That might not be a bad idea.
Well, this is a true good afternoon.
That's not.
We can't end this way.
I don't know.
I don't know how else to end. I got nothing
Yeah,
else.
there's
All right,
nothing
fine,
else
bye.
on the agenda.
Unless we want to talk about our morning, that's kind of funny. It's a good story of Wisconsin.
Well, yeah,
this is shit you deal
we had
with.
no power this morning. Power went out in Three Lakes, Wisconsin at about 5:20ish a.m. The original thing said it was going to be back on by 7:30. So we have a generator at our office here, and I knew most people come in. Some people, there's 2 people who come in at 6:30. I didn't give a crap. And then most everybody else comes in a little. Well, they're supposed to be in at 7, but they trickle in between 7 and 7:15.
Hey,
so I figured
that's
worst
not true
case
now.
scenario.
I'm a 6:45er.
Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
you're not normal. Worst case Ontario, I figured there'd be like
Nice.
a half dozen people who would be out without power for like 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just completely ignored the fact that I knew we had no power, and a generator here that doesn't run.
Right.
Well, like 7:30, my phone's blowing up with everybody telling me we don't have power and the generator's not running, and Tim took it upon himself to go out and try and fix it. So now I feel guilty. So
Did you really?
Yeah.
I come in.
I knew.
and
I mean,
I come in. I figured the battery was dead, which is commonplace. But turns out it was low on antifreeze, which is also another commonplace. We filled it up with antifreeze, still didn't start. Then we got it running. Then it belched out all of its antifreeze out of a broken hose, and 5 minutes later, the power turned on. That was our morning.
it took us hours. I mean, eventually to get it actually started, we
And
had to
Did you get a
another
new hose for it?
It was -8 this
Yes.
morning.
It was very cold.
We had to bring in a generator to start the generator because
Oh.
the battery died. We brought in a charger with a small generator that we couldn't get started for an extended period of
Yes,
time.
we had to get. We couldn't get the small generator started to charge.
So you
the
just
big
daisy
generator.
chained all sorts of engines
We did.
together.
Yeah, we got her going.
Yeah.
We
But
got her going.
But it ran for 15 minutes. A hose blew. It put. We
5
figured.
gallons, 4 or 5 gallons. Of
And it
antifreeze.
looked like a melon flavored slushy all over the snow
Yeah.
on the ground.
It
And
was
then,
biodegradable antifreeze for the record.
Yes, and then 5 minutes later, we were up and running.
The
anyway.
power was on just long enough for me to make a piece of toast.
Well, I'm glad you got
did.
breakfast.
I did. And then I went to town to get a new hose, and then Tim texted me and said the power's on.
Did you come back with a hose though?
I didn't get a hose. No. Because
What happens if the power goes out tomorrow?
I'm gonna go get a hose.
For the record, it ran during the summer. On Fridays, I would hear it
Yeah,
running.
it
and-
cycled until it ran out of antifreeze,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a sensor in there, and it knows it has low antifreeze, and then it won't start.
Doesn't even try to turn over.
Do you own a generator?
Yes, I do.
Probably they're good to have up here with how often the
Yeah.
power
You,
seems to
you
go
got to
out.
be set up in your house though to be able to plug them in, or they
Yep.
don't do you any good.
Yeah, we have a panel in our garage that you fire it up and you just plug it into that panel and it
I
runs
did
the
at
whole
my
house.
old house. I got to do that at my new one.
I would just run an extension cord out the
my,
door.
My new house
the-
that I've been
out
at
the window.
for 8
Right.
years. My new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just run an extension cord, but then again, you're only powering like one thing.
Yep.
Right.
If you can get it to go back through your panel.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, Wisconsin winter. This just got even that much more boring.
Is there anything else?
I think people are going to enjoy that story.
No, they're not.
Is there anything else we can talk about to turn people off?
I don't know, Jeff. Anything else that you're really bummed about or makes you sad or anything right now that we can
No,
hit?
but
You're just
this
a downer.
episode, seriously, I think this is our worst episode ever.
Well, last episode was our best episode ever.
Well,
so.
it wasn't for
People are saying that
positivity.
because they want to keep us going.
No, I think it literally. I think it legitimately was our best.
I think it was one of them.
I think it's up there, top 5 for sure.
All right.
Now we're sitting here tooting our own horn and no one wants to hear that either.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Oh, we can't even.
Try
Can't
again.
even
Ready?
Can't even do this
Ready?
right.
Good afternoon.
Are you gonna? Who goes second?
You.
Oh, okay. So
Good
you,
afternoon.
Good evening.
Good night. Sorry.